Calling from a 256 area code. Who's this? Yeah, who's this?
Hey, this is Jacob from Alabama.
Jacob from Alabama. What's on your mind?
Yeah, you've been kind of sounding the or sending out the bat signal for some good news the past few weeks. So I thought I'd
really the past few years, but go ahead.
Right. Well, and so what I wanted to talk about was the largest private sector strike in the country in 2020 ended a few weeks back, and that was the Bath Iron Works strike. The Machinist Union Local S6 went on strike for about 8 weeks. 87% of the membership voted to go on strike. It was more than 4,300 workers, and they were striking over issues with seniority. I talked to one member of the local who had been working there for nearly 50 years, and he said that in the new contract, they would have been able to throw him on night shifts and have him paint the wall if they wanted to. And obviously that's not ideal. They were fighting over subcontracting. The company wanted to be able to bring in non-union subcontractors to do work at, lower rates and obviously less quality work. And they talked about the subcontractors that they have now. They're so poor at their jobs that they have to rework a lot of this stuff. So it's doesn't even make financial sense. It was just a way to, they just wanted to bust the union up.
Right.
And so they went on strike. They were on strike for 8 weeks, and they were able to retain their retain status quo on seniority and subcontracting language in the contract. And additionally, they were able to secure a 3% annual raise for the duration of the contract, which was not even something that was at the top of their mind. And one of the things that really inspired me was like this older gentleman that I talked to. He talked about how much solidarity there was between the different kind of factions or the different groups of people in these in the union. The thing about the seniority that was obviously that was a ploy to try to separate the younger folks from the older folks and
Sure.
get the younger folks to vote for the contract. And let the older folks kind of hang out to dry, and they didn't do that. And in fact, the younger members of that union were the ones leading the strike. They were one leading demonstrations before the strike vote happened in the shipyard, ringing bells and like laying down hammers and like hundreds of impromptu demonstrations during their lunch breaks.
So Jacob, give me a sense of why do you think that is? I have a hunch as to why that's the case. And it's interesting because, doing something like that with seniority is a specific tactic on how to bust the union, right? They're always looking for where can we cleave, where can we tear apart the solidarity, and give me your sense of why that was the case in terms of the younger people.
Why did that not work in this case? I think it was because of the education that the union did. I think I talked to one of the folks that was on the strike committee, and he talked about the outreach that they did to educate the members on what this would mean for them in the future. Because a lot of these folks, they get a union job on a shipbuilding yard, and this is like they plan to be there for 46 years, like that one guy that I was talking about. They plan to be there for 46 years. They want to retire there. They want to have a good life, and so I think a lot of it had to do with the education and Max Alvarez, who hosts the Working People's podcast. He's been on TMBS. He interviewed one of the younger people. I talked to some of the older folks that have been there longer. He interviewed one of the younger folks. And one of the things that she talked about was, the fact that like there's kind of a sense of like, this is what we deserve among those young workers there. Like we deserve to be able to have a good job into our, middle and old age. And so do these people that work with us day by day. And so we're gonna fight for ourselves, and we're gonna fight for our brothers and sisters on the job. And it's just really, among all of the just terrible things that are happening right now, that's a little bright spot. The largest private sector strike in the country in 2020 was completely successful. They got everything that they were asking for and more.
That's great. Jacob, I appreciate the call. It really is heartening.
Sam, one more thing.
Gotta be quick.
This is a little bit more lighthearted. I noticed that when you Google the station number that I am on, the first image that comes up is an image I co-host in a Teamsters Cannabis Workers Union T-shirt. So I thought that was fun.
Pretty cool. All right, Jacob. What's your station again? What's the name of your show?
The Valley Labor Report on in Huntsville, Alabama.
All right, folks can check that out. Thanks a lot, Jacob. I appreciate it.